All right, let's pop into this. So this is a video here from Valuetainment, and it is a heated debate. Is Andrew Tate good for society? Question mark. And you guys know I am a huge lover of Andrew Tate. He's my favorite. So I am curious about this. Somebody had sent this to me in the Discord. So let's get this going.
You went after Tristan Tate August 8th, a month ago, 2 months ago. You said the following.
Okay.
Liz Wheeler claims Tristan Tate teaching young men how to deceive women and take their virginity. A conservative political commentator, this girl named Liz Wheeler, Liz, I think you would like this lady, and podcast host recently criticized Tristan Tate, brother of Andrew Tate, allegedly promoting deceptive tactics towards women. Wheeler shared a video where Tate discussed dating and said Tristan Tate teaches young men how to lie to innocent women to take their virginity. I'll do 2 or 3 virgins per year. I'll teach you how. Jordan Peterson even responded and supported you, saying for advocating family values and discipline, joined the criticism by sharing Wheeler's tweet and warning about the potential consequences of weak men influenced by Tate's advice. Peterson wrote, if you think strong men are dangerous, wait until you see what weak men are capable of. Sincerely, someone a while ago. If you want to...
Well, yeah, that was Jordan Peterson. Yeah, I mean, or maybe that was Andrew Tate. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Even if you want to remove the fact that they are most likely sex traffickers based on all the insane information we have, it doesn't matter, because if you look at their course, it teaches you how to go after and get women to fall in love with you so that you can make them do whatever you want for them. That's not a positive interaction. What young men need to be taught is the correct way to get a job and just be productive to society, right? Maybe go to college. If you don't know what you want to do in college, 2-year degree is not a big deal. Maybe get like that, just all the bullshit out of the way with the liberal arts. But if you don't know what you want to do after that, go get go HVAC. Go get a job like an HVAC or mechanic or some kind of a technical job. I forget the name of the school for some reason. For some reason, it's like drawing a blank. But go to school for something like that. Those types of jobs are very difficult to automate away. Those trade jobs in a society that is moving towards automation, because they're a little bit more complex, right? Like generally everybody's, AC vents are a little bit different. It's hard. It's not menial enough for you to just throw an automated, production piece onto it. Those are decent ways to go if you want to have a long-term career. It's not a bad idea, right? Teach men respect, how to understand boundaries, being more sensitive to women in a positive and productive way. If you think that men should be the leader of a household, that's fine, but teach them that is a huge responsibility as a leader. It doesn't mean that you get to do whatever you want. It means that you have a family of people who you are responsible for. And while you may be in charge of them, it is still a family unit where you are just another person with a different job in that family. You need to learn to respect them. You need to learn to respect their boundaries. You need to learn to respect your wife and your children on an equal level, even if you're the one leading the household. You're still responsible to make the right choice for everybody, not just the choice that you feel is right for yourself. That is a huge thing. And that's just not something that Andrew Tate has, that you get from Tristan and Andrew Tate. You're just not going to get that from them. We're 2 people who sell porn and are rich and showing you a rich lifestyle. The only thing you might say is like, well, they teach you how to work out. They don't. They tell you should work out, and that's great, but they don't teach you to work out. They don't have a comprehensive routine that they're trying to show you in order to get you to be more productive when it comes to you working out. They just say, go work out. You should work out. You should do something for your mind, body, and spirit. It doesn't have to be, getting stronger. Maybe it's jogging or swimming. But them just saying, go to the gym, that doesn't mean anything. If you want motivation for that, go watch Eddie Hall. Go watch Brian Shaw. Go watch Dan Green. Go watch a powerlifter. Go watch Mike Israetel. Go watch somebody who's like really intelligent when it comes to exercising and routines. If you want that kind of stuff, watch a powerlifting meet. Watch a strongman meet. You want to be inspired? Follow an actual fitness page, an actual reputable fitness page of somebody who it matters in their field, like a powerlifter, a strongman, a bodybuilder. Go follow one of them. That's going to give, if you want motivation, go follow your favorite bodybuilder. If you want to do a boxing, go follow Conor McGregor. But Andrew Tate, he's not a boxer anymore. He sells porn, and he sells an $8,000 war room program where it was leaked that he showed how effectively he is at grooming women. and berating them. And I don't know what to tell you. He's not a man.
Play the clip. I don't know if you have the video or not,
Yeah,
or
can
is it
we
just
watch
a
the
tweet?
video? No, I put the video on the tweet.
Okay, so go back to that tweet and see if it go click on.
Scroll
There you
up.
go.
Yeah, listen to this.
All right, let's watch this and then let's get your take and then
Let's hear it. Let's watch
we'll
it.
give our feedback here.
Like me and meet the women who I meet and roll in the circles I meet, you meet beautiful virgins sometimes. Me, I'll do 2 or 3 virgins a year. Now, how do you date a virgin when you're an ice cold player? There is a tactic which I'm going to share with you on how to date a virgin and how to take a girl's virginity. Now, the recipe hasn't changed, but the tactics and the implementation has certainly changed. Be their boyfriend for 3 months and be in a nice relationship with them. That is the recipe. I'm sorry, guys. You want to run into a virgin and fuck her the next day? Don't ask me how. I don't know. I don't think anyone knows. I don't even think it's possible. You have to be their boyfriend for an extended period of time. You then have to take her virginity on the 2nd month anniversary or something along those lines, and I'm going to teach you how to do it while still being.
You can pause it here. You can pause it here. So it's a
Yeah, obviously that's obviously manipulative. His whole goal is to act like somebody that you're not, to take somebody's virginity, who we already know that like a person who's a virgin is probably going to. He wants to take that person's virginity, and he's understanding that you have to be in a monogamous relationship with them, or at least that's what you're going to tell them, for a period of a few months until you have sex with them, and then you most likely drop them. If you're having sex with 3 virgins a year, obviously you're not staying with them. So this is a course on how to manipulate women. It doesn't have to be illegal. We don't have to have a conversation about this being illegal. That doesn't even need to be part of anything. But it's immoral. It's wrong. You're having a course on how to manipulate women and treat their sex like an object. Okay. Yeah, that's wrong. That's bad for men. He doesn't have to be like any other allegation doesn't matter. That's just wrong. That's not respecting somebody, lying to them. And this is like the funniest part is you're teaching men to lie to women. And I've always learned as a man that one of the biggest things as a man is to be honest. Be a man of your word is a literal thing. Engaging in this is not being a man of your word. You can't manipulate a girl and pretend to be monogamous with her just so that you can get sex and then say that you're a man because you're not being true to your word, which is what a man is supposed to do. So, yeah, he's not good for society. This isn't a positive thing at all.
a 2-minute video. Commentary, thoughts on this, why you have a problem with this.
Well, I mean, the words that he used make it pretty clear. He said, I'm going to teach you a strategy. I'm going to teach you a tactic, how to manipulate a girl into sleeping with her, to deceive her into thinking that she is loved by me in order to exploit her, objectify her, and have sex with her. That's pretty disgusting, I think, by anybody's standards.
Yeah.
Adam?
I think one more comment I will make. The reason that I criticize him specifically, or that I've criticized Andrew Tate, is because at one point Andrew Tate was the most Googled man in the world. He's incredibly influential among young men. And the reason, it's very interesting why he's influential, because he accurately diagnoses a serious cultural problem in the West. He accurately notes that masculinity is under assault, that men are told that they're toxic and bad. And he actually, to his credit, has the courage to say, I'm going to push back against this. I'm going to tell...
Listen, there is a level of truth to that. Generally speaking, most normal people understand that toxic masculinity isn't saying all masculinity is toxic. Where this gets into, because toxic masculinity exists. Toxic masculinity is not expressing yourself or your emotions in a productive way and then beating a woman or your spouse because you're angry, right? But we understand that not all masculinity is toxic. The problem is that TikTok feminism will take any narrative and weaponize it and be an obnoxious fuck about it. It doesn't matter what narrative it is. And that's where some young men are getting frustrated. And I understand that. But masculinity as a whole isn't like under attack. Nobody's telling you that you can't be a man. No one's telling you that you can't fucking that you can't work out. Nobody's telling you that you can't do traditional male roles. It's just that there's a fucking dude in a dress on a magazine cover, and it's like, okay, that's weird to me, but I don't have to care about it because I don't feel like my masculinity is threatened because I'm not a fucking child. I'm not a dumb baby that's sensitive. So
men to be men. The problem is that once he accurately diagnoses the problem, his antidote, what he prescribed, is self-destructive. He doesn't actually teach young men how to be good, strong men.
True.
He instead leads them towards pornography and materialism and exploitation of
True.
women and worship of self.
True.
So I think that makes him more dangerous because
Absolutely.
he does accurately diagnose a problem.
Absolutely. We're talking about a guy whose entire MO is I have nice cars and a lot of money and women love me and I'm going to manipulate them. Again, leave the legalities out of it. He's trying to manipulate a woman.
But then his prescription for it is to lead young men astray.
So, is your biggest issue with Andrew and Tristan that virgin video, or is there sort of a symptom of a larger problem that you have with them overall?
I mean,
You can't have that one video as a one-off. It's not like he's just like, yeah, everything else though. Yeah, I like to manipulate virgins into sex, but I'm also very religious or something. No, that is one representation of how dog shit he is for the psyche of young men.
that video is an example of the point that I make when people say that Andrew and Tristan Tate are good role models for young men. I don't think that's a good role model for young men. To learn how to manipulate and lie and deceive women into having sex
I actually want to address that, but I just actually want to understand your perspective genuinely.
It's very easy to understand this
Do you think that the Tate brothers, for men specifically, are a positive net value, positive net role model, or negative?
Negative. I think they lead young men towards self-destruction.
Yeah.
Okay, so you think that the words that they're saying, not the little clips, but their overall message?
Yes, this is part of their overall message. You can't say everything is just a clip of somebody. I understand clips can be taken out of context, but every time you see something, it's a clip of him saying something that's objectifying or destructive to women. It's not just clips anymore. There's nothing magical that you're going to hear that's actually him promoting a positive lifestyle. What are you talking about?
Is bad for men not good?
Yes, he's bad for men.
Yes, because what are they telling men? They're telling men you're attacked, you're a victim, and that resonates
True.
with men because that is a valid grievance, especially in American culture.
It does promote like a victim complex.
So that's why they've become so popular here. They were popular in Europe and in Britain, but they're so popular here the last couple of years because there is a war on masculinity. So young men are feminized.
There's no war on masculinity, and young men are not feminized. Okay, I understand that some people that want to be more masculine feel displaced, but there's no war on masculinity.
And it's a powerful thing when you take a valid grievance and then tell someone that the solution to that grievance is something that actually harms them. So I actually think they're more self-destructive than some people on the left because they're playing on a valid problem and prescribing something that's harmful to young men.
Just to be clear, what do you think that their prescription is for men?
Pornography, materialism, exploitation of women, and worship of self.
Yes.
That's what you think their message is to men?
Is this guy just going to keep repeating the same thing? Yes, that is their message to men.
Is what you can read all of their stuff, listen to all their stuff. I've extensively listened to all of their advice for young men, and they literally say, if you are not extremely wealthy, you are not a real man. Money is the most valuable thing. Like, money's great. We're all trying to make a living here. We're all trying to make money, but it is not the most valuable thing. That is a message of materialism. They've run pornography business. That's how they got rich. That's how they got famous. They pretend to back away from it now just to avoid criticism, but it's really just because they don't need to do that anymore. They constantly are talking about how to be a top G and how to manipulate women. I think that's an incredibly destructive message. Do you think that's positive for young men?
A lot of it I do, and I'll tell you why.
That video. Do you think that video is?
No, I'll address that video, but what's interesting is he actually had a nuanced approach. He said you need to date them to 3 months.
But
how many women are going to date a guy for
what?
3 months that they are not interested in, that is not there for them, that is not providing for them, that is not protecting from them, that isn't there for them? You don't just slip in and fall into a virgin. I totally understand that.
This guy's okay. So what he's saying was, well, he's teaching men to date the virgin for 3 months and treat them well until he exploits the sex out of them and leaves them. So that makes him a good guy. Okay. I don't even know how to engage with that. That is one of the dumbest fucking points. That is one of the absolutely dumbest fucking points that I've ever heard in my entire life. First of all, you don't need to treat women particularly well for them to like you. Okay? Let's just be real. Women are stupid. All right? I'm sorry, but second of all, you're an idiot. There's just no way. That doesn't matter. Like, by this logic, as long as the process is nice, you can do whatever exploitative behavior. So it's okay to violently rape a woman as long as you're like really nice to her and buy her a drink. Because the process was nice. You're teaching guys to court women. So anything after that is A-okay. No big deal.
You actually need to date these women. So at that point, it's the woman's decision. So my question to you is,
What are you talking about? It's deceptive. If a girl, this is the thing that's so funny, is if it was a girl that was pretending to like a guy and then marry that guy and then get half of his shit after she divorces him in a year, he'd be talking about how men are fucking perpetual victims. But because it's a guy manipulating a girl into giving up her virginity after whatever period of time, that's okay because there's a good message. He's a fucking idiot. He doesn't know what he's saying. His logic, he would not agree with his logic if it went in the other direction. That is dumb as fuck. It doesn't even make sense at all.
how many
you don't
men?
think that's deceptive? Like, he's deceiving them. He doesn't
He
actually
is.
care about them. He's doing things to make them think that he cares about them.
You know what? Welcome to modern day dating, baby. Like, this is what happens.
No, that's not modern day dating. Modern day dating isn't this like this is the problem. These are people who live in like areas that are usually very sexually oriented, where they're very sexually focused. They're usually like these relationships where it's women that just want to have sex and men that have a lot of money, and they think that that is reflective of the entire world.
Out there, men
That's
do
not
this
how
with
it
women, women do this with men.
They
And you don't
shouldn't.
think that's destructive?
I think it is what it is. Whether it's
No, it is.
destructive or not is your opinion.
Do you think it is? I'm
guy's an
interested in your
idiot.
opinion. Do you think that that's a harmful dating dynamic?
I don't think that that is my objective to dating. Going out there and taking virginities, that's not my
Why?
thing.
Why?
But going out,
Yeah, why? Answer the. You want to know why? Because going out and just trying to get a woman's virginity is pathetic and predatory. I would go as far. There's nothing wrong if you're a dude that wants to date a woman that's a virgin. There's nothing wrong with it. Maybe you're a virgin yourself, or you're not very sexually experienced, and you want a partner that is on the same level. That's 100% okay. But if you're somebody with a lot of sexual experience, and your entire objective is to just go out and get as many virgins as possible to have sex with them and then drop them, you're a disgusting piece of shit. You're a fucking loser. Like, that's just gross behavior. How is this being justified? It doesn't make any sense.
and dating multiple women, I've done that forever.
But do you think it's an honest
But
thing to do
I don't
want
to focus on the virginity. I want to focus on the
to
bigger
deceive
message
women?
here. No, you're missing the point, Liz.
The bigger
percent-
the bigger message here is the virginity. The bigger message is that women who are virgins are more valuable sexually. And the only reason is because Andrew and Tristan Tate are they're sensitive, or rather they're insecure men. They're shitty in bed. They don't know how to have sex, so they need to have virgins. Somebody who has no any sexual anything or experience.
Percentage of men are millionaires in the world.
I don't think that's the point. The point is
cares?
what
I'm
they're telling
asking
young
you a
men.
question.
gives a
Miss
shit
Liz
about that?
Wheeler, because I respect your opinion. You're beautiful, you're smart, you're educated. What percentage of men
I don't know.
are
A fucking
millionaires?
I don't know.
Take
cares?
a guess. You're smart.
I have no idea.
You have
Who cares?
Google it.
Fine.
okay.
Tell me the answer if you want the answer. I'm
A couple
interested in your
percent,
point.
8% of men, let's say. What percentage of men are 6 foot with six packs?
Who
We just did
cares?
this earlier.
I mean, I'm not 6 foot, but
Okay. What percentage?
Who cares?
I don't even know.
Why
What-
does
While you're Googling this,
I'm
millionaire,
Googling it 'cause I'm interested in
millionaire,
this.
6 foot, abs, inch.
Who cares? What is the productivity of this? What he's going to say is, see, these guys are really valuable because they make a lot of money. Okay, then why do they have to lie to women to have sex with them? What's the answer? Why do they? Oh, well, if they have so much money and they're so handsome and they're so tall and they're so attractive, why do they need to lie to women to have sex with them? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Shape, actually a man who is good looking, fit, takes care of his person, a man who can provide, protect, be present for his woman. These, to become the top G, Liz,
What does
Do you
top
know-
G mean? What does that mean to you?
a fucking top gangster, like a top G.
but what does that mean?
A top male, a high value
Alpha male, basically, is what you're saying.
What do you love about your husband? Go ahead.
I
tell me.
love that he is godly. I love that he is a man of virtue. I love that he is strong. I love that he is a man of integrity. I love that he's
How tall is your
faithful.
husband?
5'10".
cares?
He's 5'10". He probably rounds
Served
up
in the
to
U.S.
6 foot.
Navy. Worked
he's
for
a-
Border Patrol.
So hold on.
Stud. He's a
in a
stud.
medical provider.
I met your
Yeah, what does it matter that he's 6 foot tall? I don't understand.
We had lunch
Yeah, you
with
have.
him, right?
Yeah.
I did. So let me get this straight. He's a
Hey, what do you love about your husband? Well, he is somebody, like, from her perspective, it's somebody that, like, values are on point. He's a religious guy, and was part of the military. He probably has a lot of, like, he probably loves America or whatever. That's crazy. That's cool. That's great. I meant to say. That's not crazy. I love America, too. And they have similar values. Oh, but what about how tall is he? Why does that matter? That doesn't always matter. Yes, girls generally like taller guys, and guys generally like shorter girls. It's not everything. It doesn't matter.
tall, good-looking, studly man who's done well for himself.
Okay?
Yes.
Okay. don't you think it's incumbent on most men to try to accomplish that?
To be materially successful?
I didn't say that. To be good looking, successful, leader.
Yes, it is a good idea as anybody, but specifically as a man in this instance, to be successful. You should try to do that, guys. Lying to virgins to have sex with them and then leaving them is not a mark of success for a man. This is the most unintelligent fucking gaslighting from these red pill people. It's actually pathetic. If you're somebody who falls into the red pill, you're fucking doomed. Holy shit. This guy's a moron.
In shape, lead men. Don't you think that's important for men?
I think the number one most important thing for men
How
to
does
do is to
fucking
try to be
virgins-
godly.
That's your
How does
opinion.
fucking
It is,
virgins
yes.
have to do with
That's
anything?
your opinion.
I'm answering your question, though. You're
Yes.
asking
You're
my
asking her opinion.
opinion if
Okay.
I think those things are important. I think the most important thing for a man to do is to be godly. I think to provide and protect
why
for
don't
his
you
wife
marry
and
a
his
priest?
children.
Why don't you marry a
Priests
priest?
Priests don't get married.
What? Well, priests can't get married, but what does that mean? What the fuck? Oh my god. Even by her logic, this is my most important value. It doesn't mean it's the only value. This guy is really fucking stupid.
Okay, well, that's their bad. But there are some pastors that do get married. So when you marry a pastor,
Why would
if
she?
that's
But the
most
family
important,
is he
unit,
on
the
about?
Actually,
marriage
not a bad
is a
idea if
domestic.
priests do start getting
Yeah.
married.
Is the domestic.
Yeah, maybe they stop raping kids. So maybe it is a good idea if they get married.
let's start
church.
diddling kids.
Takes the pressure off the altar, boys.
I mean, I feel like you
I'm trying to see where you're going with this.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
if you're,
I'm not
Going
sure
nowhere.
where
He
you're
doesn't
going
know
with
what
this.
he's
What
saying.
is this? You're
He's just talking. He's dumb.
lambasting this man for accomplishing what very few.
No, nobody's lambasting him for accomplishing anything. He's getting criticized for talking about how he wants to manipulate women. Holy
Men
fuck.
can accomplish. The fact that
Wait a
he's
second,
made
wait a
all
second.
this.
Repeat to me what I said. When you say I lambast him for what he's accomplished, I don't care how much money he has. What did I say my problem
Why are
with
you
Andrew
focused
Tate?
on the money?
No,
Why-
no. What did
okay,
I
He's
say my
so
problem
dumb.
was with
Liz,
Andrew
you're
Tate?
missing the entire point of my point.
Tell me
Holy
what your
shit.
point is.
Why do so
He
many
has
men, not just impressionable 13-year-olds, men, grown-ass motherfucking men.
There's no men that like Andrew Tate. I just want to be clear. I don't know how to tell you this. He's a rapist, sex trafficker. If you like him, you're not a man. If you think that lying to women, virgins to have sex with them makes you a man, then you're not a man. You're a fucking child. You're a baby. You're a loser.
Yeah.
40 years old, successful, good values, moral compass, strong leaders. Why do those men find him fascinating and resonate with him? Answer me that.
Yes,
Why
I
do
will.
grown-ass men, not teenagers, actually love these guys?
Let me tell you why.
Well, because you feel comfortable, because you have like a rapist mentality that you think that it's okay to manipulate women into sex, and to try to objectify them in ways and control them. You don't think it's a red flag when he engages in grooming of women, and you think that like men should be able to engage in grooming tactics and manipulation tactics, and it should be okay. And you're tired of people telling you that it's really gross when you lie to some 18-year-old virgin and tell her that you want to be just with her for the rest of your life for 3 months until you fuck her and then you leave her because you're a piece of shit. There's disgusting men out there. They're losers. You're a loser. I don't know what to tell you. You're just a fucking loser. That's it. Because literally imagine that instead of Andrew Tate making all of his money through sex work, Andrew Tate made all of his money being a fucking terrorist. Would you have the same opinion of him based on all his behaviors? Well, he's really successful though, and I know that he fucking genocided like 1 million people, but he was really successful. He was a handsome guy. He was a successful, handsome guy. He made a lot of money being a fucking terrorist. Would you make the same argument, or would you feel fucking stupid? Like, that's the question here. You'd feel dumb. That's it. The way he got rich is relevant, because he got rich being a scumbag piece of shit, but it's not even relevant, because he's still a piece of shit.
Yes.
And it's what I said before. Because
Because
Western
they're all toxic
culture.
masculinity.
You live in the United States of America. You understand that the most powerful politicians and the most powerful cultural influences, James Cameron, for goodness sake, in Hollywood, called testosterone a toxin. Men are told that if they
cares?
so
That guy's
much
a
as
loser.
pursue a woman or ask her on a date, that they are sexually harassing. Men right
When have I've never heard this before. What the fuck are we talking about?
now aren't afforded due process of law
When?
they face frivolous allegations of sexual misconduct that could be to the level of criminal conduct.
Online? Sure. Yeah. Okay. Maybe. But in the real world, men are still getting the benefit when from a lawyer perspective. So
understand how vulnerable this makes young men?
Yeah,
So you
because I'm a
have
man.
Andrew-
I understand what it is.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
I'm asking
Thank you so much for the 1 month sub from Daniel Belfour. Would love to hear you on these losers in their face. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'd ever have an opportunity to talk with them, and I don't know if I would want to, because he's not capable of having an intelligent conversation. He's not somebody. This is the problem, is that this guy isn't somebody who wants to have an intelligent conversation and change his mind. He's just looking to keep spewing the same dumb fucking bullshit. He's been proven 1,000 times wrong every single time he talks to somebody like Destiny, because he has before. He looks dumb, but he doesn't care, because it's not about whether he's right or wrong. It's about how he feels. He's an emotional man that is completely feelings-based when it comes to his perception of the world.
Let me finish one thing.
Why men resonate with him?
Because of how powerfully men react to being attacked. And then you have Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate coming in and saying, I see you, and that attack that's happening against you is wrong. You don't have to face that.
There's no attack. There's a victim complex. She admitted it before. Like, yeah, sometimes people get annoying when it comes to, like, anti-male behavior. Absolutely. But, like, let's not pretend that men are being fucking attacked. Just chill the fuck out. Stop being a victim. It's another thing about it. You can't be a man and have a perpetual fucking victim complex. I'm tired of this shit.
I'm going to give you the secret to avoiding that and to succeeding anyway, when everything from the education system to our legal system
sex
to our
trafficking
culture
and raping
is telling
women.
men that they are worthless, that they are bad, that they're inherently rapists. I mean, it's bad what's happening to men. They come in and say, I have
Nobody's
a
saying
solution so that you don't have to live that. That's more powerful than a drug, Adam. That's why men find it
Liz,
attractive.
you bring up a good point, but
Liz.
you've never been a man.
You've never
So
been a
you're
man.
arguing
So
with
you're
me,
so dumb.
a grown-ass man, and among
This is literally the same fucking argument. This is the same argument that annoying fucking feminists make when they say men are not allowed to have an opinion about me getting an abortion. Yes, we are. We are part of a society. So when you say, well, you're not a man, so you don't understand, that's the same thing as some fucking annoying blue-haired liberal saying, well, you don't have a uterus, so you can't talk about having a fucking abortion. It's just like, do you not realize you're doing the same fucking thing as every like annoying leftist blue-haired dumb fucking liberal? That's what it comes down to. Like this person, if they were born with a little less testosterone, would have just been the blue-haired fucking crybaby liberal. That's all it is. There's no intelligence going on there. There's no productive thought. It's a complete emotional gravitation towards whatever makes him feel good about himself.
amongst other men, what it's like to be a man and what we're feeling. I can assure you this, my lovely friend. The number one thing that men are not
He's done a great job at just getting so far away from the main thing, which was manipulating women to seal their virginity. We've gotten really far away from that.
taking from Andrew Tate is the matriarchy's coming against you and you can't go out and talk to women. It's actually the exact opposite. It's, oh, you want more women in your life? You want more success in your life?
Just rape
You
them.
want better cars, bigger things, bigger dreams, more beautiful women in your life? Follow these steps. Not you're a victim.
He's literally sitting here. First of all, the entire thing of sensualized. You just said that he appeals to men that have a victim complex, and now you're saying that he doesn't do that. It doesn't make any sense. He's making you feel like a victim by saying men are always under attack. That is the victim complex. But that's not what's happening.
I understand you. I'll give you a hug. Let me show you what's going on.
So let's do
You
this.
used one of Andrew Tate's words that he uses to describe the attack on masculinity about an hour ago on this show. That's how deeply Andrew Tate's message is in your own mind. I'm observing it.
What's the word?
The Matrix.
Okay.
He's the one that made that word long after the movie become a staple in every young man's vocabulary. The Matrix is after you. Here's how you avoid the Matrix. Here's how you're successful in spite of the Matrix. I'm not telling
I find it so interesting, this whole concept of the Matrix, because you got the concept of the Matrix from a movie. And the biggest part of the Matrix is that there is this magical force that exists that's like oppressing everybody. Everything is fake. Everything's a conspiracy. Everything is just the Matrix. But then if that's true, then how the fuck did the Matrix come out and or convey that idea in the first place? I don't understand it. Wouldn't the Matrix not allow them to do something that would expose themselves? I don't get it.
you how to feel. You can feel however you want.
So
I'm observing how young men react.
Because I said the word.
Let's ask a different question here. Because I'm still trying to figure out where. Okay, so Tom, question for you. That video right there with how to take 3 virginities per year. What do you think about it? As a father of 2 girls, would you want your daughters to watch that video?
Well, I'll speak as a person who once upon a time wasn't a father of 2 girls.
I liked it.
I see what they're doing, and they're providing a prescription for basically men that are under attack in modern society.
Bro, they are trying to tell men how they can manipulate virgins. What the fuck are you talking about? There's no prescription in that video. It's about this video.
And I think it's pretty horrifying. However, what's equally horrifying is there are, this is not one-sided. There are women that are living in this fallen
Bro, these guys are cowards when they talk about this stuff.
world who do not have godly foundations, who are playing into it as well. So this is not a zero game, but it's indicative of a fallen world that lives without foundation, that will be led to the most base.
Bro, these are the most cowardly fucking people. Just say the video's bad. If you want to say, I like Andrew Tate, but I think that this one example is a really poor one because he's teaching men to manipulate women, fine. That's fine. Say whatever dumb shit you want to say. That's fine. But to sit here and fucking jerk yourself off and be like, I have to make sure I don't offend the Tate supporters. You're a baby.
Of our animal instincts. And I think they're providing a very, intricate plan on how to play and roam and succeed in that construct. That's the construct of life we have. Okay. And you know what? It's not my construct.
People are worthless, bro.
And it's not a construct that I want my daughters to buy into or be a part of.
Okay, so then say he's a bad person.
It's a construct, but there's women that are playing into that without godly foundations.
Bro, we're talking about virgins. They're probably religious in the first place if they're virgins at like legal age of sex. So they're probably generally more religious leaning, and they're manipulating religious women. What the fuck are you talking about?
And that's the game.
Okay, so let me give my feedback, and then we can go to the next story. Number one,
Christ, please.
I don't know why he makes that video. I would never make a video like that.
Thank God.
Say how many virginities you take per year, et cetera, et cetera. If you date, and if you have a sister, your dynamics changes in the way you view the world, because you're so protective of your sister. So in your mind, if you're afraid of God and you have the fear of God, you fear what you do to girls one day is going to come back and someone's going to do to your sister or they're going to do to your kid.
Jesus Christ, thank God somebody. I mean, he's probably going to follow it up with some dumb bullshit, but at least he's not playing a fucking pussy game right now. Jesus Christ.
So that fear of God is a very powerful thing to have. I had that since I was a kid, so it messed with me a lot because I had an older sister and I'm super protective. Now, for me, my daughters are going to watch that video.
Smart.
I'm going to have both of my girls watch that video when they get to an age. And I'm going to say, hey, check this out, girls. Here's a guy named Tristan. Okay?
Stay away from him. He's a red flag.
Spent time with him. I actually like this guy.
Wow. Well,
and
that's
by the way,
probably not the right message.
If you're also not too careful, you will also like guys like this because they're out there, because they're charming, they're sexy.
They're predatory. I mean, that's what we're coming down to. He's trying to manipulate women into giving him virginity. I think it's going to be confusing when you're saying, hey, here's a bad message from this guy. I like him a lot, but like stay away from this guy, but I like him a lot. Yeah, I'm sure that's going to be real productive. Okay.
They're attractive.
It's going to make a lot of sense.
But their outcomes are different outcomes. So someone is going to try to take your virginity away from you, okay? You only get to say that once. God willing, it's your choice, and it's somebody you love that maybe leads to you getting married or you save yourself. That's a choice you got to make as an individual. And as a parent, you got to prepare them.
What I find so interesting about the clip where Tristan Tate is talking about like how he routinely manipulates women every year, like virgins, to having sex with him, is that first of all, he knows that he's just trying to be in a relationship with them just to get that virginity sex out of them and then leave them, right? And he does 3 per year. But it's that is going to cause women to distrust and hate men. And so it's so funny that Tristan is like, men are under attack. Well, why do you think that men are under attack? Maybe it's because of dog shit men like you who make the rest of the men in the world look like dog shit. All it takes is one asshole to fuck over a woman in the same way where it just takes one woman to lie about a sexual assault for us to go, I don't trust anybody who does these particular things from now on. That's what's happening. That's why women don't like men, because one asshole is going around, and it's like it doesn't have to, it's 1% of the men are going around, maybe even 10% of the men are going around being dickheads, fucking over women, and then women are like, I'm really apprehensive about being around men. So if you want the war on masculinity to stop. Stop normalizing and justifying disgusting behavior like manipulating anybody for sex. It's all it is.
Okay? As a putting them in the right environment, God, all of those things you got to do yourself. So, one, they're watching that video to know exactly what some of the tactics may be. Number two, I think, strategies out there, most men have no clue on how to date a girl. No clue on how to date a girl.
Sure.
There's
So then learning to try to try to have sex with a virgin and then leave them probably isn't productive.
strategies on how to date a coworker. There are strategies on how to date,
Well, isn't a coworker a woman usually?
areas,
You're
what
a man?
markets to
You're
target.
straight?
Heck, there was a documentary, Wedding Crashers, where you can go, and target funerals. If you
I
remember,
mean, I think that was a comedy movie, but
Will Ferrell rocked the funerals, right? That was his
I watched
strategy.
that documentary
Many
multiple
times. Some lived it, some watched it. But to Neil, what's the guy's name? Neil Strauss,
Neil
who wrote the book,
Strauss, who wrote
The Game.
The
One day,
Game.
him and I were talking. I'm at Harvard. I'm talking to the guy in 2015. I said, Neil, I want to bring you on. I'll never forget what he said. He says, Pat, I don't want to talk about the book, The Game. I said, why? He says, because I'm actually married right now with kids. My life changed. I actually never wanted to. Now I'm embarrassed of writing that book. Some words he used,
Good for
right?
him.
So,
Good for him.
but here's the point. The point is, he may be going through that phase one day, and he may say, good for him. For us to expect and look at Tristan and Andrew as their Jesus and they walk on water, that's not my standard of anybody. I learned a long time ago, if you have that standard of anybody, you'll be disappointed very quickly. But the amount of influence that they're having out there on boys and what they're doing, if there isn't a father figure that's teaching those things, kids are going to gravitate to somebody like that that's going to inspire them. I think they're doing more.
well, that's true. But they're not teaching men to be fathers. They're teaching men to be degenerate pieces of shit. So it's not really helping too much there, is it?
Good for society than bad, if you ask me.
That's just incorrect. But okay, you cope with whatever you need to, brother. It's whatever you need, man.
I think they're fighting the fight, and unfortunately, sometimes the people that we want to fight the fight will never meet 100% of everybody's criteria. Never.
Sure. I'm trying to get this message to come through.
The people who had the courage to go up against the biggest bullies of all time were never people you would have said, I like 100 things out of 100 things that this guy stands for. No, they're typically very, very complicated human beings that have lived very weird lives, that have been tough lives, that they have some scars, they have some vengeance in them, but they're fearless. And to get that kind of fearlessness requires a pretty shitty life to live, to get to a point like that. Some people that have lived a very proper life, mom and dad were married the entire time, they were together, they were not grown in the streets. My parents got 2 divorces from each other for 20 years. Certain lives are creating different kinds of human beings. I don't sit there and say, that is the gold standard on every single thing you should do with your life. I say, yeah, you know what, that's a pretty crazy video to make. You know what, if I was friends with you at that time, I would tell you, what are you doing making this video? Just take this thing down.
It's not an isolated incident. So
Yeah.
here's what I hear that you're saying. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
Why the fuck isn't this message playing through? This is annoying as hell. Thank you so much, Z King, for $5. PBD.
Z
oh,
King
Jesus
super
Christ.
chatted $5. PBD crew are professional throat goats. It's insane how skilled they are.
It's true. I wish I had throat goats like that. Gotta love it. I mean, honestly, the biggest problem with why people are gravitating towards people like Andrew Tate is because they don't have like strong father figures in their own home that have showed them what it means to be like a real and a proper man. You know, people might gravitate towards Andrew Tate because there's no other form of masculinity in their life. But for me, I had that. I didn't have a father, but I had a lot of strong men in my life that were able to subsidize the lack of having a father. I had a Vietnam War veteran scoutmaster. I had, my Jaji, and I had my uncle Ed, which is probably where I learned how to be a man more than anything else. And what my uncle did is, for his entire life, worked probably 60 hours a week to try to provide better for his kids than was provided for him. When my father left, he was very active and helping raise me in different ways, and so was his wife. Helped because my mom worked a lot too, and I needed that. He's a good guy. He's absolutely flawed too. He has his flaws. I'm not going to talk about. Everybody has flaws, but he did the most that he could to try to provide for his family. He worked two jobs, 60 hours a week forever. His biggest flaw. Sometimes he'd say inappropriate shit, just like me. So yeah, man, like that's the problem is you need to have these influences in your house. In order to, you really need a strong masculine figure. And if you're a man out there, try to be that for somebody else if they don't have it, because Jesus Christ, it's fucking crazy.
I hear you saying that the type of behavior that he was encouraging and training young men in, and this is the type of stuff that's behind their paywall if you join their Hustler University or whatever they call it. So you're saying that you would view that as a threat to your daughters because you're going to show this video to your daughters in order to warn them about young men who would take advantage of them sexually by deceiving them into thinking that they're cared about.
I'm surrounded by players. I mean,
But you view that as a threat.
Well, why are you surrounded by players? They're bad people.
To your own children, which means that you don't view what Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate are bringing to young men as something positive, because what they're doing is they're training other young men to behave like that.
Yeah.
They do have an incredible opportunity. I acknowledge what you're saying. They came from a hard background.
This guy actually seems like he's just super stubborn, but he actually is listening. That's the interesting thing about this guy. He actually seems like he's somebody who's capable of having his mind changed. He's just incredibly stubborn, which I can appreciate. I think that men or people in general need to have a level of stubbornness attached to them, because if you're not stubborn, you're just going to waver the second somebody has a disagreeable point to you, and that makes you a fucking coward. Like, you need to be stubborn. Most people, like, that's what you have to do. If you have a particular belief on something, you should not change that belief until somebody has completely shown you why that belief is wrong. And people who fold instantaneously, like, oh yeah, you're right, that was bad. You're a coward, and I don't like cowards. So I'd rather deal with somebody stubborn that disagrees with me, that I can have a productive conversation with and slowly change their mind, than some pussy that changes their mind the second that somebody says that they're bad. I fucking hate people like that. Like, I'm cutting everybody like that out of my life. I think they're losers. I don't have any fucking time for losers.
Financially successful.
Yeah.
I would argue that they were financially successful for immoral reasons. I mean, they ran a pornography business. That's not really something to be proud of. It's not something that you want to inspire in other young men, is to run OnlyFans accounts, not give the girls the passwords, manipulate them into staying in the house. I mean, that's not really a positive thing. But if this is what they're teaching to young men, then the next generation of young men who may not be as wise as you are in saying, I don't put anybody on a pedestal, I don't view anyone as a savior. They do view these guys as a savior, because it's the only people. It's the only people that are telling them, like, yes, you have a valid grievance with your masculinity being attacked. We're gonna have a culture of young men in 10 years who are objectifying women, using them, and commodifying their body.
You mean the same culture? We're gonna have the same culture in 10 years? Holy fuck, I'm gonna come. Fuck, dude. I'm gonna fucking shit and cum my pants.
If I have a binary choice between the current educational system that's getting people to go from traditionalist 0.8% then being part of the LGBTQ party community. We can say party or religion,
Party or
church, whatever you want to call it.
You can call it a religion. I just find it funny that these people will defend religion and then call the LGBTQ community a religion in a derogatory way. Like, it's just funny. It's just funny. I think it's it's the most religious people will call LGBTQ a religion in a derogatory way. How does that make fucking sense, man? Because what you're saying is that you're saying that religion is just as bad as what you think LGBTQ is, which it's obviously LGBTQ isn't even bad, But it's just funny. It's fun. The perspective is interesting.
Party.
Then you got boomers is what, 2%. Then you got millennials is whatever. Then next one is when then Gen Zs are 21%.
Yeah.
If that indoctrination is turning 1 out of 5 people,
bro, it's really not that high. It's mostly people identifying as bisexual and then not any, and that's it. Most people are like, 21% of Gen Z is fucking LGBT. Yeah, they're bisexual. They think they're exploring their gender, and then they just stop doing it. It's not like everybody's fucking going around like, oh my God, I'm trans, blah, 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 blah. Shut the fuck up. It's annoying.
Kids to be part of LGBTQ, and these guys are not.
I honestly can't wait for myself to get like old and die. I don't even mean to be rude. I honestly cannot wait for me to get to the age where I'm fucking dead, because honestly, people people in my generational age area are just so annoying. I think that they're just so fucking backwards in their thought. So it's gonna be great when I age out, because hopefully the next generation isn't that fucking stupid. Jesus Christ.
Would much rather have them listen to this guy, just to be fair with you.
Can I make one quick point?
Yeah.
No, you're terrible. You're dumb.
You got 20 seconds.
Everything's
bro.
about.
You got 20 seconds because we got to move on. I got 50 minutes. I'd like to hear
Everything's
some more
about
stories.
evolving and getting better. I would argue that video was done many, many years ago, and I think they have
That's
evolved.
their defense.
Okay.
That's sure. First of all, they still believe that, but that defense would have been fine if he started with that. But instead, he went with some pseudo intellectual fucking dumb dog shit of like, well, they make lots of money, so it's okay that they manipulate women for. It's like, what are you talking about? And also, they haven't changed their perspective on anything. What the fuck are you talking about? They've been the same forever. In fact, they're proud of it. That's their whole thing, is that they're the same as they've always been. They're toxically masculine or whatever, toxically masculine. They love to rape women and sex traffic them and take advantage of them, and they're fucking based in it. There's nothing wrong with it because women are less than. That's what it boils down to.
So you read the game. I read the game. Yeah. Most guys will want to read something like that to get more women. At some point, you're going to evolve. I'll give one last thing. I started reading PBD's book over the week. Choose your enemies wisely. Okay, they have chosen their enemies very wisely, and in many cases, the enemies have chosen them.
Crazy.
But Pat, in the beginning of the book, talks about logic versus emotion. What is not the good emotions is actually what these guys talk about, and that's the foundation of Stoicism. What is not good emotion
this guy's just
is
yapping.
being sensitive, illogical, weak-minded, impulsive.
Well, sensitivity is not necessarily bad. You should be sensitive. You don't want to be too sensitive, but being sensitive, the way it manifests in the real world, is just like when you say something around somebody, being considerate of how they feel. Obviously, I'm not really considerate about how some people feel because they're annoying, but like my wife, for instance, I want to be sensitive to her. But to sit here and talk about things like it from an illogical perspective, you just sat here and justified how somehow it's good for society for men to manipulate women into giving them their virginity. So who the fuck is the sensitive one? You're throat goating Andrew Tate's fucking cock as hard as possible because you love him so much. You're a sensitive little boy. The only way that he would not be sensitive in this case is if he knows he's grifting, because it's the only thing that people value him for is dumb dog shit takes about how men are fucking oppressed and how we're all baby victims and how the world's collapsing. Like, dude, that's just some pussy shit. Promoting a victim mentality for men is the fucking weakest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It's fucking coward's game.
Irrational, and just being a pussy. But what is good emotion is having passion, stoicism, being hyper obsessed with what you want to accomplish, being relentless, being powerful, and having purpose.
Wow,
and I would argue that the Tates try to bring out those types of emotions.
Wow. They don't. Oops, I clicked on something. They don't. They just sit there and they talk about how they're fucking awesome and whatever. I don't care. I'm getting really tired of engaging with the red pill bullshit. It's dumb as fuck. It's full of morons. They are literally the stupidest fucking people. They're dumber than TikTok feminists. It's just like it's literally just brain rot. So, okay, cool video.